It is the first conference championship game over a mad 7-day scramble. Automatic bids ready to be handed out all across this great land. And the Ohio Valley Men's Championship game, though not technically the first bid, the first conference championship. The top two seeds have made it to the title game at Evansville, Indiana's Ford Center. Its establishment, the number 2 seed Morehead State Eagles, who are old hands at this, and party crashers, Tennessee State, a top seed who hasn't been dancing in over 30 years, led by a former Duke great. Good evening, everybody. I'm Seth East. Thank you so much for being with us. We even saved you the best seat in the house. We're ready to go for what should be an exciting OVC championship game. It's always the curtain raiser as far as championship games, the Champ Week. And it should be another good one here tonight. So, how did we get to this championship game? Two teams who were picked 4th and tied for 5th in the conference tournament in the regular season, in the preseason poll. The way the bracket system is out, these are the top 2 seeds. They've only had to play one game of the tournament, the semifinals. Last night, Tennessee State beat in-state rival UT Martin by 13, while Morehead State won by 5 over SEMO. Morehead State at 20-12, 15-5 was their conference record against the top seed in Tennessee State, who is 22-9, and likewise 15-5 in conference play. And if you talk about what you want in a conference championship, you want the top 2 teams to be in it, and you also want it to be a rubber match, and that's what we have here, a rubber match. The home team won both games. Tennessee State won in Nashville, 105-100 in overtime, January 15th. Then on Valentine's Day in Morehead, the Eagles held serve at home with a 94-86 win. That was Tennessee State's last loss. 5 straight wins for the Tigers since. They're led by Aaron Nkrumah, who leads the OVC in scoring at averaging 18 points a game. A Tennessee State program that, again, has not exactly been overly familiar with the heady heights of the big dance. Morehead State, you'd have to say, pretty familiar with it. We're just about ready to get this one on the road. John Carroll is our one to watch for Morehead State. 10 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks in the win last night over SEMO. So it's either the Eagles or the Tigers. And away we go from Evansville, our first men's championship game of the week, of the season. Morehead State has it. Brian Washer, Jabir Walker, and Kevin Driver have drawn the championship assignment. Inside, it's John Carroll, but he walked. Missed the shot anyway, but he walked. So even if he'd have made it, it would not have mattered. Here's Tennessee State going left to right in the home whites, with Harper, Harris, Petrie, Lorick, and Nkrumah. And now we get another stoppage here. There might have been a wet spot on the floor that was intended to. Highest scoring team in the OVC at 80 points a game. And they get a 3 to start the scoring here. The 3 hit by Travis Harper II. 39% three-point shooter, and he gives the Tigers the lead early in this one. Marshall Dawson, 2 Dawsons with Carroll and Malute, the starting 5 for the Morehead State Eagles. Here's George Marshall. Now gets it to Vince Dawson III. Vince Dawson hands it off. Now here is Chase Dawson. Back to Dawson III. He'll fire up a long 3. Short off the front rim. gathered in by Dante Harris, the rebound. Harris down to Kruma. Kruma trying to drive with the right block. He'll take the 10-footer and hit it. And the top scorer of the conference is off the mark on championship night, 5-0 Tigers. The OVC Player of the Year doing the work. Chase Ears Dawson now over to Carroll. Again, to differentiate it, we'll call him Dawson and Dawson the third. So that's how you'll know the differences. Here's Dawson with 10 to shoot. Dawson to Dawson the third. No, this is Carroll. Carroll underneath his side, no, but a foul. And I think he was in the act of shooting, so should be free throws coming up. Nolan Smith, the OVC Coach of the Year, will tell you more about his story a little bit later on in the night, as every timeouts we have, whether it be media or coach calling it, we will give you some info on something in case you're not familiar with these teams. As John Carroll makes the first free throw. By the way, the man who Smith shared the Coach of the Year title with, Jonathan Maddox. Carroll is 71% free throw shooter, makes them both. And it's 5-2. So here's Tennessee State with the basketball. Kruma now on the left wing. Kruma now looking at get it over here. And Jalen Petrie inside, and 2 for Petrie. Now here's Dawson up the floor for Morehead State. Dawson. Now here is a kick out. On the move, Dawson 3 is good. And it's a 7-5 game on the 3 by Chase Dawson, who averages 8 points a game on the season. Here is Kruma with a shot, and it is no good. Rebounded by Carroll. Morehead State now up the floor. Here is Dawson. Good pass. Dawson the third now has it on the right block. Trying to knife inside. Actually, it's not Dawson the third, and a whistle found. I believe it's going to be Anwar Malouk. 57% free throw shooter going to the line. Redshirt senior from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Anwar Malouk. 22 points, a career high in the semifinal win last night. Previously played at Odessa College in Texas. Also played at Fort Union. First free throw spins in. You know, it would probably help if we get the score situated. So, there you go. Now you can see the score. All right. So, Morehead State and Tennessee State now tied at 7. So, now here's Tennessee State working with the basketball. This is Harper. Harper now gives it to Harris. 8 to shoot. Harris pulls and hits. It's Dante Harris with the 3 ball. And Tennessee State back in front 10-7. Here is Malouk. Kicks it back out. Here's a 3. And that one doesn't fall. Harris the rebound now for Tennessee State. Harris 3. Good back-to-back 3s for Dante Harris. And a 6-point lead for Tennessee State. That's a silky smooth 3 from Harris. Here's Davion Cunningham. Now Marshall. Marshall with 13 to shoot. Marshall on a drive. Marshall, right side jumper, rims out, no good. Rebound, Petrie. Harris has the best turnover to assist turnover ratio in the OVC this year. 3 out there, no good. He has 141 assists versus just 68 or 58 turnovers. Out of bounds is going to stay with Tennessee State when come back from the break. Morehead State. They are located in Morehead, Kentucky. Population of just over 7,000 in Rowan County, Kentucky, in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. And as for Morehead State University, enrollment 8,401. It was established in 1887 amongst the notable alumni Kenneth Fareed, who now plays in Greece, once played in the NBA. Phil Simms, the former Super Bowl winning quarterback, and also game show host Chuck Woolery. Morehead State in the NCAA Tournament. They've been 9 times. They did reach the Elite 8, Sweet 16, back when there was a shortened field in 56 and 61. In the modern era, though, if you do not count preliminary round and first round in play-in games that they won in 1984 and 2009, their only tournament win in the modern era. We mentioned Fareed, he was a part of it when Morehead State beat Louisville in 2011 in the first round, 62-61. Eagles were last in the tournament 2 years ago. They lost 85-69 to Illinois in the first round. Tournament, Morehead State has also made one NIT appearance. That was 2023. They beat Clemson and lost to UAB. They also made the semifinal. They also made the finals of the CBI in 2016. That was back when the final was a best-of-3 affair. They beat Siena, Duquesne, and Ohio before getting to the final. They won the first game against Nevada, then proceeded to lose the next 2. So that's a little intel on Morehead State. Now here's Tennessee State with Dante Harris. Now Travis Harper II. Again, 192.5 total points scored per game. So this is going to be a... so if it's anything like... if that's an indicator written for a trap meet, as Carlos Williams hooks it in. And the lead now at 8 for Tennessee State. Oh, and a steal. Great job. Here come the Tigers. Euro step. Watch out. Layup. Good. And Tennessee State's rolling. 17-7 lead for the Tigers. A 10-0 run for Tennessee State. At the other end, Cunningham. He missed. TSU has it going the other way. Here's Harper. Free throw line jumper. Not there. Loose ball. Scramble. Still a scramble. Still a scramble. Carlos Williams has it. Inside it goes to Antoine Lorick III. He couldn't connect. And Morehead State has it. This is a good defensive team. They're 8th nationally in steals per game, Tennessee State. Marshall, left wing 3. Short, no good, off the front, rimmed out. Harper now with it, and now he's actually going to slow it down a little bit. What is this blasphemy in a game like this, slowing it down? So here is Harper. Harper. Now in Kruma. Kruma with 6 to shoot. He pulls. He hits. The team that averages 80 a game is already at 20. Timeout, Morehead State. What a start for the Tennessee State Tigers. My goodness. So Tennessee State, as we mentioned, Tennessee State now, they have had some success at the Division II level. At the Division II level, they were national runners-up in 1970 and in 1973, but Division I level, only twice did they make the tournament. It was back-to-back years, 1993 when they lost 81-59 to Seton Hall, and the last trip in 1994 when they lost to Kentucky in the opening round of the tournament. They also won 4 NAIA championships in a row from 57 to 60. Morehead State on the run, shot going inside. They've also been to 3 CIT tournaments, have the Tigers. So again, this is not a program that you would associate with big-time winning, but Nolan Smith has certainly changed that. Kruma knocks down another 3. And it's 23-9. Here is Josiah Legree. Legree going inside and no good, but free throws coming up for Morehead State. Tennessee State, of course, located in Nashville, Tennessee. Established in 1912, 8,198. The enrollment. In the list of alumni, it is a pretty good list. First free throw good for Morehead State. It's an interesting list. Among notable Tennessee State alumni, how about Oprah Winfrey? That'll do. Richard Dent, the Pro Football Hall of Famer, as we have a stoppage here. Ed Too Tall Jones also went to Tennessee State. Dominique Rogers Cromartie. So that's some of the notables that attended the institution that is Tennessee State University. $13-11 to play first half, and a 13-point lead for Tennessee State. So second free throw coming up here for Morehead State. John Carroll had the double-double. Tallahassee, Florida native, misses the free throw. Rebound, Tennessee State, Kavian Jones with it. This is Jones. Now he'll get to Dante Harris. Harris with it. Now it's back to Harris. Harris, a 3 it goes, but there was a whistle before that. .52 to play in the opening half. And now Tennessee State to inbound after the foul. Carlos Williams inside. Off the heel, no good. Rebound, Morehead State. And Tamari Relaford. Legree. Layup. Nope. Rebound, Tennessee State. Here is Nkrumah. A whip around, Harper. Harper off balance 3. That one is good. Oh my goodness. They made 9 threes last night, which was the time for a season high. They might shatter that at this rate. Harper's got 3 by himself. This is Josiah Legree, and Legree gets fouled. Tennessee State is 6 of 7 from 3 to start this one. This is quite incredible what they've been able to do. 12-12 left first half. Harper hits 39% from 3. First team on conference selection and averages 17 a game. Here is Legree. Marshall works inside. It's not there. Relaford, and a foul. $11:56 to go in the first half. Morehead State, they're led by 38-year-old Jonathan Maddox, who attended high school in Georgia, who played his college basketball at Anderson University in South Carolina, which shout out to the Trojans. They won the South Atlantic Conference men's basketball tournament earlier today, their first ever SAC tournament title. He also went to Emmanuel College, they were then in the Southern States Athletic Conference. So played at schools in the South. It's where he started his coaching career as an assistant, moved to Morehead State as a GA, an interim assistant, associate head coach, then off to Murray State as an assistant, and then took over at Morehead State when Preston Spradlin left. And in his second year, 35-29 is the record for Jonathan Maddox. Preston Spradlin, of course, now is the head coach at James Madison. Took him to the tournament in 24, and Maddox, after a disappointing year last year, as Morehead State back in the NCAA tournament, or back in the OVC tournament in the championship game. Last year, 50-17 in his first year, and an 8-point loss to Lindenwood in their first game in this tournament. So, 6 threes for Tennessee State. So 11:56 to play in the first half. Morehead State to inbound. Knifing inside and go inside of the big man, and a missed shot but a foul. So free throws coming up. They get Lorick for the foul there. That's 2 on Antoine Lorick III. So free throws here for Morehead State. Tamari Relaford, who averages 6 points and 4 rebounds a game. First free throw up and good. A 56% free throw shooter is Relaford. Senior from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Previously played at the University of West Georgia. Relaford makes both free throws. Also played at Concordia State before that. So the free throws made a 14-point game. Now here is Jabrian Spikes. Bruma. Nice move. Lorick scored and one. Antoine Lorick III with a chance at a three-point play. The 64% free throw shooter will go to the line. Free throws coming up for the junior from Augusta, Georgia. He started one game last year as a sophomore, but is showing out and playing well this year as a junior. Chance at a three-point play, and he makes it. And Tennessee State is up by 17 with 11:44 to play in the first half. Josiah Legree now up the floor for Morehead State. Long pass to Farrell. Farrell works inside, and there's 2 for Farrell. It makes it a 15-point game. Tennessee State has not turned the ball over yet in this game. Spikes. Now Nkrumah, and right on cue, Nkrumah throws it away. And there is the first turnover. Here is Legree for Morehead State. Now on the high post to Maluk. Back out, 3 on the way, is off the rim, no good. Ball tapped around and briefly into the hands of Farrell, but it's loose. Tennessee State has it. Tigers now looking to run. Nkrumah on the left wing, trying to move. Nkrumah, jumper, no. Tip by Petrie, didn't go. And then the rebound by Cunningham. Now Legree on the left wing. Legree. Now Cunningham. And Cunningham gets fouled. So here is Cunningham at the free throw line. It's a 1-1, and the front end hit. Cunningham shoots a 71% clip at the free throw line. Redshirt junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, North Mecklenburg high school product. A transfer from Division II USC Aiken, also attended UNC Asheville as well. Makes the second, and the Morehead State deficit is now at 13. Now Tennessee State with it. Nkrumah up the floor. Nkrumah. Morehead State finished that game against SEMO on a 9-0 run. Nkrumah missed, but there's a tip in. A tip in for Tennessee State. Lead at 15. Attacking the basket, no, but there's a follow. Good job inside by Relaford to follow the shot. Still 31-18. Harris now, 18 to shoot. Harris. Now over to Harper. 7 to shoot. Petrie, and Petrie lost it. So Tennessee State now trying to come up with it. Relaford the other way. Cunningham now over to Dawson. Dawson. Now it's Cunningham, right block. Cunningham, no. Rebound, Petrie for Tennessee State. Tennessee State working it here is Harris. Now over to Petrie. Nice little 1-2. This is Petrie now over to Harris. 5 on the timer. Harris, 3. Good. Dante Harris knocks down a triple, and the Tennessee State lead is at 16. Harris with 9 points now. His third 3 of the game. Farrell now with the basketball. Back to Cunningham. Dawson inside. Off balance shot, no good. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Tennessee State ball. This is Tennessee State with it now. Harris on the left wing nearing the 8-minute mark of the first half. Harris spikes. Oh, good pass inside, and Jones, Kavian Jones, with the finish. The lead now at 18 for Tennessee State. Now on the explosion, Harris now over to Kavian Jones. Oh, wait, wrong roster. Farrell, another turnover. Here's Harris for Tennessee State. Harris, 3. No good. Got his own miss, though. And looking for the pass, and it got stolen. And now Morehead State with it. And then Farrell lost it. And now we have a stoppage. That'll be an under 8 time with 7:27 to play first half. 37-year-old Nolan Smith out of Louisville, Kentucky, the coach at Tennessee State. Of course, a starter for Duke's 2010 National Championship team in 2011. Consensus first-team All-American and an ACC Player of the Year. 4 years in the NBA, was the 21st overall pick of the 2011 draft for the Portland Trailblazers after a career which also saw him play for such teams as the Idaho Stampede, Cedevita Zagreb, Galatasaray, and the Delaware 87ers. He decided to take up coaching. Started as an assistant under Coach K at Duke from 16 to 22. Then it was off to Louisville as an assistant. Then to Memphis last year before taking the head job at Tennessee State. Trying to get this program to the dance. So, trying to get it done, and boy, this would be something if he could take Tennessee State to the tournament. And obviously a long way to go, but right now, I'd say they're looking pretty good to do just that. So, getting set to come out of the break, and the lead at 18 for Tennessee State. 7 3-pointers. The long ball has been their preferred method. Kruma now to Jones. Harris, 3. Why not another one? Dante Harris knocks it down. And the Tennessee State lead is 21 as we are the 7-minute mark of the first half. 4 threes for Harris. That's already a career high. Carroll inside. Lost it on the way up. Harris pushing for Tennessee State. Harris's floater, no. Jones, rebound, didn't go. Harris then chased it back, and they'll kind of slow it down with that fresh 20. Harris now on the right wing. Gives it to Williams. Now is Kavian Jones. Kruma with it. Dante Harris. Harris has to beat the shot clock, and his 3 doesn't go. Now it is Dawson the other way. Dawson. Now trying to kick it back out. Nice little 1-2. Dawson, 3. Short front rim. Rebound, Cunningham. In the lane, and a turnover. Harris loses it, and then he gets fouled. Either a foul or a tie. Either way, it's going to be Tennessee State ball. And Dante Harris being helped up just a little bit. So back the other way comes Tennessee State. This is Williams. Lorick. Kruma now over to Williams, left block. Williams down to the paint. Hook shot is no good. Rebound by Marshall. Morehead State now try to work some offense here. Legree kicks out, passes up, 3 in the way. Good, that'll help. And a 3 for Morehead State gets it back to an 18-point game. George Marshall knocks it down. He averages 14 a game for this Morehead State team. Harris, and we have a stoppage. Or no stoppage. 3 in the way. That is good. Oh my goodness. Carlos Williams knocks down a 3. They matched the total they had all of last night. Incredible display. Clayton Parker. Marshall, 3. Good. Now we're exchanging threes here, it would appear. Man, we mentioned how high scoring both these games were. Harris with 10 to shoot. Harris. Now Kruma, and Kruma 3. Oh my heavens. This is wild. Tennessee State is up by 21, and now a mouthing of something after the fact. And the lead at 21, and did he get teed up maybe? I think he might have said something, the magic word, and the way the floor did in Kruma. Oh, he mouthed something at the Morehead State bench, and the coach kind of looked at him and say, okay, well, and now he is upset at Nolan's upset. And Kruma, I think he is suggesting that the Morehead State coaches or players said something to him that caused that reaction. Nolan Smith trying to calm him down. The Tennessee State bench has the Tennessee is getting their crowd fired up, and the technical free throw from Marshall is missed. It's like a bit of a deep breath now from Nkrumah. And for his sake, hopefully that'll be how it is. Marshall's second free throw is good. And now he's pleading with the referee saying, I said something. Nolan Smith looks frustrated. The coaches are like, listen, just calm down. We'll work this out. But evidently, something was said on that Morehead State bench. If Kruma's reaction is telling me that there was something said on the bench, he was just trying to hit back, but it's just like a fight. It's always the second guy that gets busted. Morehead State with the ball down by 20. Marshall for 3. He's been all the offense for Morehead State here lately. He's got, their last 11 points. His third 3 of the night. Still a 17-point lead for TSU. Harris. 11 to shoot. Harris now still working with it. Harris, 7 to shoot. Harris left block. Harris fade away. No good. Rebound, Morehead State. Carroll grabs it. Nearly a steal, and injury and a player hitting the deck, and that'll take us to an under 4 timeout. 3:29 to go in the first half, and it is all Tennessee State. They're up 17 in the OVC championship. Forty-five, 28, Tennessee State just in complete control of this game in the early stages. .329 left. First free throw is good, or the free, it's 1 and 1, and Marshall sinks the 1 and 1. Marshall, 6'4" senior from Jackson, Mississippi. Second free throw is good, 12 points for him. JUCO transfer at Itawamba Community College in Mississippi is where he played. Free throws have cut this 15. Now here is Dante Harris. And Harris. And it's something, and it's a turnover. Boy, this is huge for Morehead State. If they could get just a little momentum before halftime, that would be absolutely massive for them. And they work it, though. Here is Legree, and Legree threw it away. Well, see, you can't do that. You cannot do that if you're going to try and get back into a basketball game. So here's Tennessee State now with Dante Harris. Harris, top of the key, 20 to shoot. Harris, left wing with 17. The United Bank logo. Harper straight away. 3 good. Another 3. Travis Harper the second. Lead back to 18. His 4th 3 of the night. Legree inside. Missed the layup. Rebound, Tennessee State, Petrie. Tigers would have run 11 threes in the first half for Tennessee State. Harris. Over to Harper, and whoa! Pushing away from the play. Into a foul with 2:19 to play in the first. So 2:19. Now here is Tennessee State. It's almost been on Morehead State. Here's Spikes. Now back to Harris. Harris with 7 to shoot. Why not? And missed that 3. Carroll. Now back over to Dawson. Dawson on the run, left wing. Dawson now dribbles over to his right. Gives it up to Marshall. Now here's Malou. Back to Marshall. His 3, a high arcer. Too strong. Got the rebound back. On the way down, a foul, and I believe it was on Morehead State, and it was on Marshall. He picks up his second with 1:48 to play in the first half. Tennessee State now back up the floor. Oh, Harris just blew right by and lays it in. They're scoring at will, Tennessee State. 50 first half points. They have picked a great time to have one of their most explosive offensive outputs of the year. Harris with 14. Collision here as Cunningham is fouled by Harris. And that is Dante Harris's second foul. Tennessee State, a team that, again, 2 trips to the tournament in the early to mid-90s. None since 94. Running first 2 shots, first one good. The way, if you believe the bracketologists, we're not saying you should or shouldn't, but the Mr. Lenardi's bracketology, which was updated about an hour ago, as this free throw is good, has Tennessee State as a 16 seed. Lenardi has Tennessee State winning this tournament, and you'll never believe it. He has them playing Duke in Greenville. That is what we say. We would say that checks out. Final minute of the first half. Harris. Now Harper on the right wing. 3 to shoot. Harper, another 3. Goodness gracious. Tennessee State. String music tonight in Evansville. Harper's got 5 of them. Dawson the third. 12 in this first half. Dawson and a foul. I mean, this is insane. This is insane what they are doing. Davion Cunningham, 71% free throw shooter, 4 for tonight, make it 5 of 5. Second free throw, also good. Make it 53-34. What a game. What a first half for the Tennessee State Tigers. So back we go. Here is Tennessee State. 3-second difference between game and shot clock. Harris, 6 to shoot. Harris, 16-footer, good. Everything else is dropping for him. Why not this? 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Morehead State shot at the first half buzzer is an air ball. And what a first half for Tennessee State. They have set a D1 record, most ever points in a half. I'd say they picked a heck of a time to do it. The championship of the OVC tournament, and they're now 20 minutes away from their third ever tournament appearance. When we come back, scores, including how one team already booked their ticket on a technicality. We'll tell you all about that as we give you all the men's and women's conference tournament scores, plus men's top 25 regular season finale scores on this final Saturday of the regular season for the big guns. As the conference tournaments are into high gear, March is here. You're watching this college basketball watch-along. Tennessee State is playing like a team trying to make up for lost time. They're 20 minutes away from snapping a 32-year NCAA Tournament drought. Set these with you here as we roll along at halftime on this NCAA, this OVC championship game, and what a first half it has been here. Let's get you caught up on what's happening in men's college basketball before we get to the tournaments. Let's take a look at what's happening in the top 25 regular season finales in the top 25. One game in progress, Auburn, who hilariously continues to be in the bubble talks despite being 2 over 500 and a pathetic 3 over 500. And Auburn putting out a pathetic showing at home on the road tonight against number 16 Alabama. It is a 67-39 belt from the Tide, and there's still 14:34 to go. Later tonight in the top 25 on the men's side, these are men's games. You got number 10 Texas Tech at BYU, second-ranked Arizona playing at Colorado. So that's what's happening there. Earlier tonight in the top 25, some of you might have heard this earlier. The GOAT, Matthew Owens, was on the call. Cam Boozer, 26 points, 15 rebounds. Top-ranked Duke goes to the ACC tournament at 29-2. They get revenge on number 17 North Carolina, 76-61. Duke, though, did suffer a couple of injuries in the game. Caleb Foster and Pat Gungba both were injured in the game. Yeah, both were injured in the contest and did not return when they got injured. John Shire said during this post-game interview, presser, he said that Duke, he does not expect either one to play next week at the ACC tournament. All eyes toward the NCAA tournament. Marquette had won just 11 games all year. They're 12th, a pretty big one. They knock off number 4 UConn and perhaps cost the Huskies a chance at a number 1 seed. Marquette wins 68-62, a game that saw UConn coach Dan Hurley get ejected in the last second of the game. The team that might take that number 1 seed, the defending national champs, 5th-ranked Florida, they will go into the SEC tournament on an 11-game win streak. They led by 17 at the half, never trailed, and beat Kentucky at Rupp 84-77. Thomas Happ with 20 points in that one. Number 6 Iowa State scored 24 straight points in the second half after being down 4 at the half. They blew away Arizona State. Final in that ball game, Cyclones 86, Sun Devils 65. Number 7 Houston goes to Oklahoma State and wins 82-75. 13th ranked Virginia over Virginia Tech, 76-72. It was number 14 Kansas with a 104-85 win over Kansas State. Wisconsin goes into West Lafayette and beats 15th ranked Purdue 97-93. Gritty win for number 20 Arkansas on the road without Darius Acuff. They beat Missouri in overtime 88-84. Louisville goes to South Beach and knocks off 22nd ranked Miami 92-89. And a top 25 game in Knoxville, number 24 Vanderbilt got the better of number 23 Tennessee 86-82. Vols were playing without Nate Ament. And George Mason pounded number 25 St. Louis 86-57. Well, we don't like to be too rude and call out things, but we don't like sugarcoating things in Ultimate Sports Media, and so not going to sugarcoat it. The stupidest rule in perhaps all of sports has reared its head once again and, has somewhat taken the juice out of this game in the sense that we hyped this game up as the first automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. As it turns out, it'll be just the second. The Northeast Conference lets its teams, if they're transitioning from Division II to Division I, participate in its conference tournaments. The NCAA now, of course, bans them from being eligible, makes them ineligible for the first 3 years of transition to go play in the big tournament, but separate conferences can make certain decisions. So, in the first of the 2 semifinals, when Mercyhurst beat Stonehill 56-51, their trip to the final meant that the second semifinal between Wagner and LIU essentially became the Northeast Conference Championship. And so the first ticket goes to Rod Strickland's LIU Sharks. They'll take a 23-10, They're 23-10 heading into the championship game with Mercyhurst. 64-56. They blew open a tie game at the half, and they get the win. So LIU gets the triumph there in the Northeast Conference. Semifinals Saturday at several mid-major tournaments. At the Big South, the top 2 seeds advanced. High Point beat UNC Asheville 75-71. They'll get a rubber match with Winthrop. The Eagles held off gritty Presbyterian 73-71 was the final in that one. Arch Madness, Missouri Valley Tournament. Arch Madness. It was UIC over Drake 72-51. Rashawn Washington with 23. And Northern Iowa upset Bradley 73-69. So Northern Iowa and UIC will contest the MVC Championship tomorrow afternoon. Summit League semifinals. Top seed North Dakota State putting the finishing touches on Omaha. It's 72-50 Bison with less than a minute to go. North Dakota will meet St. Thomas in the other championship game. The A-Sun title may be one of the coolest games tomorrow in championship week on Championship Sunday. Why? Because we're guaranteed a first-time dancer in it. The first semifinal was won by the Bears of Central Arkansas. They beat Florida Gulf Coast 73-63. And the second game, how about Queens University out of Charlotte, North Carolina, a former Division II school, their first year post-transition. They're going to the A-Sun Championship. They get 21 points from Jordan Walker. They withstand a 35-point, 13-rebound performance from Rashad Marshall of Austin Peay. Queens wins 90-83. So Central Arkansas Queens were guaranteed a first-time dancer at in the NCAA for the A-Sun. Other conference tournaments that are in early rounds. Third round of the WCC at the half. Portland and San Francisco are tied at 29. Seattle and Pacific will play in the 11:30 game tomorrow night. At the Sun Belt, Southern Miss knocked off Appalachian State 86-87 or 86-73. With 2:07 to go in the first half, Georgia Southern has a 40-37 lead on Coastal Carolina. Quarterfinal Saturday at the Southern Conference in Asheville. Western Carolina leads Mercer 60-58 with 7:05 left. Winner of that game will take on the top seed East Tennessee State. They beat the Citadel 83-76. UNC Greensboro upset second-seeded Wofford 75-72. And the 6 beat the 3 there as Furman knocked out Samford 86-81. Samford, amongst SoCon people, was a rather trendy pick to win that tournament. At the MAAC tournament, Justin Menard's 26 points led Marist over Quinnipiac 77-75. 10:42 to play. Siena leads Mount St. Mary's 48-35. Starch Madness is up and running. The Big Sky Men's Tournament. First game of the books, it was Idaho State 73, Northern Arizona 65. The second game should be getting underway soon. Sacramento State and Idaho. Second round of the CAA, one game still in progress, 16:39 to go. William and Mary leads Elon 38-36. Finals, Campbell 96, Stony Brook 89. Drexel down Northeastern 84-77. And it was Towson over Hampton 74-68. Tyler Tejada with 35 points to lead the way for the Tigers. I'll get it right eventually. Women's basketball, the OVC Women's Tournament, that did determine the first bid in the women's field of 68. Congratulations to Western Illinois. They got 21 points and 12 rebounds from Mia Nicastro. They beat Lindenwood 71-65. The first women's ticket punched by WIU with a 26-5 record. Real quick, a lot of UConn had no problem in their Big East quarterfinal. At the Big Ten, chalk holding in a lot of the power conferences. Top 2 seeds made it to the Big Ten Championship. UCLA and Iowa. South Carolina and Texas won in the SEC. TCU and West Virginia won in the Big 12. Duke and Louisville winning in the ACC. And so now we are getting set for what's going to be a great championship Sunday on the women's side. Getting set for the start of the second half in the OVC Men's Championship. So here we go. Second half, Tennessee State in complete command of this one. At least through 20 minutes. Now, a lot can happen in 20 minutes. Richmond had a 38-8 lead on Duquesne at one point and lost that game. A couple of bites of the cherry, and Tennessee State misses. And out of bounds, whose ball will it be? Harris with 16 threes, Harper with 15. Another stat that's wild about what Tennessee State did in the first half from three. They ranked 350 at the Division I in three-point attempt rate. Only once all year had they made 12 or more threes, and yet they made 12 in the first half. Just remarkable how Tennessee State was able to work. Tires going right to left in white, and Lorik's fouled. Morehead State will go left to right in their yellow uniforms. Some free throws here for Antoine Lorik III. He's a 64% free throw shooter. We mentioned him earlier. So he goes to the line. First free throw is up, and it is no good. A little bit too strong. Tennessee State, most wins and conference wins in their D1 history, in the D1 era, with 22 wins and 15 in the conference. Their points per game, second most in the D1 era. A historic season. Now 19 minutes and 35 seconds from it ending in the NCAA Tournament. Second free throw good, 56-34. Morehead State, of course, looking for their third title in the last 6 years, but they have an almighty mountain to climb. Vince Dawson III gets it in the low block to Maluk, and Maluk scores. The jump by Anwar Maluk, 56-36, the score in that game. Maluk had 22 last night. Here's Tennessee State working inside. Petrie misses. Rebound, Morehead State with Carroll. Now to Dawson. Chase Dawson at the free throw line. Dawson hits. Chase Dawson with 2 more points. 56-38 now the score. Now here is Kruma. Kruma now with it at the top of the key. Kruma now over to Lorik. Lorik, left corner three. Rims out, no good. Loose ball, Morehead State with it. Now exploding. Lorik went for the block, though, and made it. Good contact there by Lorik. Here's a bounce pass. Harper blocked, and then trying to save it, and it wildly goes out of bounds. That was a heck of a sequence. Carlos Williams checks in for Tennessee State. Tennessee State 0 for 3 on their first three-point attempts of the second half. They still lead here by 18. Here's Dawson on the left wing. Now gives it up to Marshall. Marshall with 15. Marshall moving around. Marshall with 11. Marshall knifing in and scores. Morehead State, Marshall trying to will him back. They're back within 16. 14 for Marshall. 17:31 left. Dante Harris. Harris explodes. Harris rejected. Morehead State now with it the other way. Here is Dawson. Carroll. Dawson. Marshall a three. No. Off the mark. Rebounded by Lorick. Now Tennessee State works with it. Here's Harper on the right wing. Now over to Kruma. Now it goes to Dante Harris. Tennessee State easing up some of the shot clock right now. And here is Williams. Turn around. Oh! Late night banking on a Saturday in Evansville for Carlos Williams. Off the window, he puts it in. He's got 9, the lead at 18. Here is Dawson, and he hits a three, but a whistle before that. And a foul on Tennessee State. Lead at 18. So now play goes back. Here is Marshall now over to Carroll. Carroll tried to save it. Maluk. No. And now here is Dante Harris for Tennessee State. Now back to Kruma. Kruma, three. No good. Off the front rim. No good. Marshall now the basketball. (58-40). Nice move by Maluk, and Maluk scores. So Anwar Maluk with the basket. Morehead State just slowly chipping away, and Nolan Smith brings his guard over and says, I think we need to talk about things. A timeout by Tennessee State, as Morehead State has cut the lead to 16 early in this second half. It's the OVC Championship Watchalong. We'll be right back. (15:42) left in the OVC Men's Championship. The top seed, Tennessee State, leading the second seed, Morehead State. China Smith in the stands, a U.S. Air Force captain here, and she is in the stands. Play resumes here. Up 16, of course. Married to, of course, that was Nolan Smith's wife. That's who it was. Air Force captain and married to Nolan Smith. Now, I must say, what makes their relationship a very unique one, as I believe this is now going to turn into a media timeout with stoppage, I would love to have the rights for a sit-down interview with these two and figure out how they met and how this marriage came about. You're probably wondering, Seth, why would you care about Nolan Smith and his marriage? That's an easy one. We've mentioned earlier how Nolan, of course, was an all-everything player at Duke University. His wife, apparently, is a UNC Chapel Hill graduate. That's interesting. You know, something tells me that there won't that friendly ribbing from Nolan about that might not even be in the cards tonight. As much as you just can there's just a lot of stuff. North Dakota State did beat Omaha by 24. So 15:31 to go at Tennessee State. Up by 16 here. Again, trying to snap a long NCAA tournament drought. Regular season champs. Can they be the second team to punch their ticket into the madness? After LIU did it earlier this afternoon. Marshall on the run, looking for a pass, picked off. Tennessee State on the run now. Here's Harper, and Travis Harper II puts it in. Much needed two for Tennessee State. Get the lead up to 18. Don't let Morehead State think about getting in it. 17 now for Harper. High off the window, no good. Second bite of the cherry, also no good. Finally, the third time of asking, the tip goes from John Carroll. 16-point Tennessee State lead. Here it goes. Oh, it went for the alley-oop and it was blocked, but it only went into the path of Williams, who laid it in. 14-20 to go. Here is Dawson. Step back jumper is no good. And now here is Harper for Tennessee State. Harper now gives it up. Kruma, and foul on the way down. Aaron Kruma. Good defensive play, but it fell off the backboard to Williams, actually. So that was a bit of an unlucky break there for the Morehead State Eagles. The foul, by the way, here was on Marshall. That's 3 on him. Potentially snuff out the comeback effort. First free throw good for Kruma. So the second free throw, it's up and no good. Rebound Marshall. Stays in the game with 3 fouls. Now to Dawson. 63-44. Marshall now gives it up to Dawson. Dawson, left block. Jumper. No. Rebound. Here's Tennessee State on the run. Kruma for three. You betcha. Player of the year knocks down another three. And Tennessee State's lead has gone back north of 20. It's 22. 12 for Kruma. Here is a left wing three. Oh, banked it in. A bank shot for Marshall. He's going to do everything he can to keep Morehead State in this game. It's pretty apparent. His fourth three of the night, he's got 17. Harris for Tennessee State now on the left wing. Gets Harper. Harper another three. Rims out, and out of bounds it goes. And it will belong to Morehead State after another missed three. Again, the way they run tonight, again, when you see that if you're new to college, there's probably a lot of people either watching the main television feed or watching this stream that are probably seeing Tennessee State for the first time. And you would have never known this team was 350th in attempted threes, attempt rate. Boy, they let the Golden State Warriors out there tonight. Carroll with an easy lay-in. Now back to a 17-point game, and Harris turned it over. Well, 28 left in this one. Morehead State trying to work. Here is, off picked up a dribble. Got to put it up and put it in. Good job there by Davian Cunningham. Cunningham, who worked it out, and it's a 7-0 run for Morehead State. And the lead back to 15 in a flash. Again, you just got to keep chipping at it. Get stops, get baskets. Pass to Kruma, and Kruma's kick out now over to Williams. Now Lorick. Lorick now over to Harris. Harris, he's got a lot of room to run. Harris drives, missed the layup. Harper was fighting for the loose ball. Was back out to Carlos Williams. Williams inside, rejected. And Morehead State kept it alive. Good defensive play, Carroll. Up ahead, lays it in. Morehead State not going away. Maluk cuts it to a 13-point game. Now here's Williams on the drive and scores. Boy, did they need that. Carlos Williams with 13 points. Here's Josiah Legree for three at the other end and a quick timeout. Morehead State will not go away here. The lead is now at a dozen for Tennessee State. And you got to wonder, did Tennessee State use too much of their three-point mojo? We'll see in just a moment. We'll be back in just a moment. Getting good here. Well, you can never write anything to be normal and expected in the month of March. Just when you think it's figured out, it most certainly is not. Because Siena led by 19 earlier. And now Mount St. Mary's within 2. And in this game, as we come back to break, Tennessee State led by 22 just a handful of minutes ago. They've led Illinois Post pretty much. And now the lead's down to 12 with still 10:47 to go. On the drive, no. Tip, no. Third bite, foul. So 10:37 left. 68-56 the lead for Tennessee State as they look to move on. Jalen Petrie, 2 points, 6 rebounds. First one good. .point lead, make it 14. Now here is Morehead State now. LeGree with the basketball. LeGree now on the attack right side. LeGree off the glass, no. Ball tipped around. Here comes Tennessee State. Harris and a foul there by LeGree. Here is Dante Harris now for Morehead State. Is it now to Kruma? Kruma. Now Petrie, good passing. Williams, 3, good. Nice shot, Carlos Williams, a 3. 73-56 now. Halfway through this second half. Tennessee State. Cunningham. Side, and Carroll misses the bunny. Tennessee State has it going the other way now. So they've got some of that momentum back. Kruma for 3. Bit of a heat check off the heel, no. Rebound, Morehead State, Carroll. Now Morehead State trying to run inside. Here is LeGree, and he lost it. Morehead State with the old basketball here. And wow, that was wild off the inbounds pass. And a foul on Marshall, and that's big for Morehead State. And you're put in quite the predicament now if you're Morehead State, because Marshall's been your best player tonight. He's been your offense. He's gotten you back to within somewhat of a chance, but boy, 4 fouls with 9:19 to go. What do you do? And the answer to that question's now been had. He sits. Tennessee State nearing the 9-minute mark. Harris, jump shot, rattles, no. They go inside, and here comes Morehead State. Cunningham. And Cunningham is fouled. 8:58 left. Layup, here's Morehead State. Layup, and good. Maluk with 10 points, and Maluk trying to keep things alive. Harris now over to Kruma. 13 to shoot. Kruma is fouled on a jump shot. And so the 79% free throw shooter will go to the line. Go to the free throw line. The player of the year out of Worcester, Massachusetts. Previously played at Worcester State. 50 years a junior last year. Second in the nation in steals per game. So here is the free throw. First one is up, and it is good. Kruma 19 against UT Martin in the semi. Second free throw is also good. The lead now back at 17 for Tennessee State. 8:31 to play. Here is Morehead State now with LeGree. Now Maluk. And a foul, and that'll stop the play at the 8:23 mark. You got close games in the MAAC and the SoCon. Still some good late night games in the Big Sky, the Summit, and the WCC. I know what I'll be doing when I sign off this stream. Watching more basketball. LeGree straightaway three, no good. Cunningham. Law, it goes towards the scores table and out of bounds. 8:10 to go. 17-point lead for Tennessee State. 3 seconds on the shot clock as Morehead State will inbound. Get it into Farrell with one, puts it up. Too strong. Loose ball, still juggling around, and Morehead State has it. Oh, nice work inside. Farrell misses, but he's fouled. 8 to go. 75 to 58. While they take that break, I'm going to check and see what's going on the SoCon and MAAC. Why don't you get you a drink or a little snack to eat? We'll be right back. Update, Siena did hold on to beat Mount St. Mary's 63 to 58. And meanwhile, Mercer is down 3 to Western Carolina. Western Carolina just took a timeout after making 2 free throws. So we said we would check in on those wild games in the other conferences, and apparently now there has been a review. So apparently, Mercer got off a 3 and it didn't go. So it looks like Western Carolina is going to win this game. So Western Carolina wins it in the SoCon. Free throw is good for Morehead State. And all of a sudden, we've got a 16-point game here. Inside of 8 minutes to play. OVC Men's Championship, the first championship game of the championship week, as it's known, of Conference Tournament Week, whatever you want to call it. Harris drives to the basket, no, but a foul. Or actually, he went out of bounds off of a Morehead State player. 16-point game. Here's the lob to Kruma. Kick out. Harper, 3. Died on the rim. Petrie, the tap out over to Harris. Harris now with 10 on the timer. Harris now down to 7. Harris with 6. Harris, mid-range. No. And now it is Jacob Wilson up the floor. Dawson's pass a little too strong, and 7:11 to go. It is a 16-point Tennessee State lead. George Marshall coming back in for Morehead State. Here is Kruma now for Tennessee State. Kruma with 20 on the timer. Kruma now works over to the right wing. Kruma on the drive. Kruma, fall away jump shot. That's no good. Rebound, Morehead State. Here's Cunningham. This is actually Marshall. Back in the game with those 4 fouls. A tie-up, jump ball. Arrow favors Tennessee State. Do the Eagles have anything left in the tank to make a run in the last 6:47? .645 left. A 16-point lead for Tennessee State. Harris. Oh, blocked from behind by Relaford. Tennessee State will keep possession, but they'll have just 8 seconds on the shot clock. Inbounds pass, and here it goes to Williams. 5 to shoot. Williams, no. Lorick fouled as he took a tumble. So it's Antoine Lorick III heads to the charity stripe. That's some really foul trouble, but he has contributed 6 points and 2 of 3 at the foul line. First free throw, good. Here is the second free throw. It's up, and it is good. Lead at 18. Morehead State with it. Dawson. Now over to Maluk. Back to a trailing Marshall. His 3 no good. Kruma with a chase down. Now goes back to Dante Harris. Here comes Kruma. Kruma inside Lorick. Spins. 2 more. And the Tennessee State lead goes back to 20 with under 6 minutes to play. Dawson on the left wing. Dawson. 14 to shoot. And inside it goes. Good, but there's a putback by Relaford. Tamari Relaford getting the job done inside. Carlos Williams. Here is Harris. Lorick. Drives inside, and it's too easy. Lorick with 2 more inside. And Tennessee State has now hit the 80-point mark. Dawson. Pull up from 13. No good. And then out of bounds. It's going to go back to Tennessee State. 4:51 to go. The lead at 20 for Tennessee State. Are they heading for the NCAA Tournament? Kruma. They break the press, Williams, and now got to pull out a little bit. Just back it down a little bit and start to eat some clock. Harris on the right wing. Harris now back to Lorick. Kruma for 3. No good. The 3-point shooting has cooled off in the second half, but they did so well in the first that it might not matter. And they nearly had a steal. They do have a steal. Thrown off his butt and into the Morehead State hands, Dawson. Here's Cunningham, and Cunningham fouled with 4:11 to go. Foul was on Lorick. That will be his 4th foul. Cunningham, 7 of 7 now at the free throw line tonight. He shoots 71% for the year. Another one coming for Cunningham. And it's good. Here is Legree. Back in. Both free throws, 18-point game, nearing 4 minutes to go. Carlos Williams. And timeout, Nolan Smith. 4:02 to go. One timeout left now for Tennessee State with 4:02 left. We'll take a break and be back in just a few moments. Balanced scoring for Tennessee State. Harper 17, Harris 16, Williams 16, Kruma 14, and they lead at 81-63 as we near 4 minutes to go. Here is Petrie. Lorick inside, and Lorick's pass picked off by Petrie. Petrie inside, no. Fall away, jump shot, Lorick, no, but there is a foul. And now a Morehead State player down. And I'm trying to see who the Morehead State player is that is injured. With 3:53 to play. Tennessee State has just been their night from the word go. Now they help the injured player up. So it's Harper being helped up. All right, here we go. Lorick 4 of 5 at the free throw line. And the first free throw is good. Lorick makes the first. Now another one coming, and Tennessee State now getting some people bench. Couldn't quite make out the number of the injured Morehead State player. This for a 20-point lead, and it's good. Under 4 minutes to play. 20-point lead for the Tigers. On their way to what would be the NCAA Championship, NCAA Tournament, the OVC Championship. Dawson driving. Good pass inside, and a missed layup by Maluk. All tapped around and into the hands of Petrie it goes. And slow dribble Harris, and the Tennessee State fans inside the Ford Center in Evansville now starting to sense it, and it might just be their night. Harris, lob. Oh, Petrie couldn't finish. Morehead State now will run the other way. Here's another three. That one is off the mark. Now Tennessee State, alley-oop. That'll work. Oh, that'll work. Two-handed flush, Lorick. Close down the honky. Or open up the honky tonks. It's going to be a wild night. Well, you know a little. Well, hold that for the end. Dante Harris. Now it is Kruma. Harris. And the Tennessee State crowd roaring more than most appreciative of their Tigers. Harris with 6 to shoot. At the top of the key, Harris pulls. No good. Rebound, Morehead State. Here's Dawson on the right wing. Dawson, kick out. Marshall, pass it side, and Maluk with a two-hand stuff and a quick timeout with 2:07 left. Morehead State now down to one timeout. Well, again, 1994. A lot happened in that year. Most notably, not most, all the notables that happened, not to get too personal, the guy that you're listening to right now was born in that year. Howard Gentry, their name in the Tennessee State circles, was the AD for 6 years in the 60s. One-point game. Second free throw. No, inbounds pass. This is a judge in Nashville. Here's another alley finish. Tennessee State heading for the dancing style. Jump shot, no good. Rimmed out from Cunningham. Final 2 minutes, another alley-oop. Oh, boy. Harper went for a straight show-off move, a windmill. For the alley-oop, and went for a windmill when he caught it, and it didn't quite work. But the alley-oop, and, well, when you have a big lead in these games, you can do that. Lorick to the bench. He had a good night. 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. It's Garcia now into the game for Tennessee State, and he inbounds now into the hands of, I believe this is either Spikes. No, this is Damon Howard Jr., so some guys that don't get as many minutes are getting in the book. Howard, oh, he's got a 3. He's only scored 30 points all year, Damon Howard Jr., and he just scored 3 in the OVC championship game. What a moment for that young man. Cunningham in a straight jacket. Dawson the third for 3 off the front of the rim. Maluk chases, and out of bounds it goes, and Jace Winkleman will now come in for Morehead State as they make some subs. Tennessee State's about to make history. Prior to tonight, the largest margin of victory in an OVC title game was 23 by Murray State in 1998. It's 25, and now it's 28. Everyone's getting in on the act. J.C. Brooks this time. Into the final minute. And a foul. I mean, good grief. Carlos Rogers might have eligibility left. He might get a 3 before this is over. I don't know. Does Dominic Rogers-Cromartie have any eligibility left for basketball? Maybe he can make a 3. Morehead State at 3 is way off the mark. Garcia now with it for Tennessee State. And a double team and a press. And here is a turnover. And here's a dunk for Davian Cunningham. And now 7-second difference between game and shot clock. So Tennessee State will either have to try one more shot or just take a shot clock violation. The record for the championship record is still there now at 26 points. Howard in his hands. Boy, they are having fun on that bench. Shot clock at 6. I don't think Howard's going to do anything, or will he? Both coaches are already shaking hands. You figure that out. 7.5 seconds left. Morehead State now to inbound. Here's the inbound, and Winkleman, is he going to pull for 3 straight away? No good. Rebound gathered in by Jones. They know a little something about dancing in Music City. How about a dancing of a different kind? Something they haven't had in 32 years. Tennessee State's going back to the NCAA Tournament. the first time since 1994. Well, I'm pausing here just so we can get the scoreboard pulled out a little bit so you can see what we've added here to the graphic. As Nolan Smith and the Tennessee State Tigers, second team to punch their ticket in the dance, the first to do it by virtue of winning a conference championship. Trying to make that text gold for you there. I did kind of fail. Now that's green. Okay, let's get a gold. As they will party long into the night. All right, that's a little bit more gold, but there you see Tennessee State into the madness as champions of the Ohio Valley Conference. It was a pillar to post victory. And for the third time ever, the Tigers are dancing as the kings of the OVC. Tennessee State, your OVC champs, they win it 93-67. This has been a presentation of Ultimate Sports Media. We thank you for following along this watch along, and have a good evening. Congratulations to to Nolan Smith, the Tennessee State Tigers, the OVC tournament champs.